The man will disappear, but he's there when I turn my head.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Gunter here with Rex Haberman at South by Southwest in the middle of 6th Street. And he is from War Poets, and we're here to interview him because he is very politically opinionated, and we love that. So, all right, the first question I have for you is, what is the issue that you are most passionate about?
I think the issue we're most passionate about right now is about gun violence in the United States.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, there's a gun violence epidemic right now going on. 30,000 people a year get killed. 70,000 people a year get injured by guns. And what we want to do is tell stories and tell people to be aware, and it's maybe some time to make some changes.
So what made you the most passionate about the gun rights thing?
To be honest, what we did is we started a new album, and we like to write songs about social topics, such as marriage equality. We had on our last album, had a song called Close Enough about marriage equality. We had another song called No Signs about cancer recovery. So on this new project, we decided we'd take on some different projects. And the one that when we started to do some research, we said, you know, this is a real problem in the United States. Gun violence is an epidemic right now. If we compare ourselves to other civilized countries or industrialized countries in the world, we're the only country right now that doesn't have any gun laws that protect their citizens, like England, Australia, some of the other countries.
Yes, and if you research them, they are a lot more strict than here. And you said earlier, you mentioned that there's actually less crime in those places because of it, or less gun crime anyway.
Definitely. I mean, you know, you can't really compare the numbers. In the United States, it's tenfold, 20-fold, you know, other countries. I mean, yeah, they have their problems too. You know, there's no perfect society. But at least in our country, if we look at things like the assault weapons, pistols, handguns, things like that, I mean, there are certain weapons that are clearly meant to kill people. Yeah. And so what we did in our music is we said, well, we're going to write songs that portray this topic in story form.
Right.
We're not Rage Against the Machine. Our songs have melody. They have lyrics that are well thought out. What we like to do is really tell the story and present it to the public for their consideration.
Okay, so you guys don't only just do, you know, heavy subjects. You have lighthearted subjects as well.
It's a delicate situation. What can I do? Where can I go? Said you'd meet me at the station where the E-train stops in Soho. I was running up the stairs when I saw you waiting there. Close enough to touch, close enough to care. Feel your body see, a passion's burning everywhere.
Can you tell us a little bit about that album that you were talking about that's going to be more about relationships and some lighthearted things instead?
Right. Well, our next two albums coming out, the first one's called American Police State, which will be out probably in the next couple of months. And then following that is an album called Hot and Cold, American Relationships. And so we do write about relationships. I mean, we write about boys and girls and men and men, women and women. I mean, there's a lot of different kind of relationships to write about. I mean, we picked hot and cold because it's not always that you have the hot relationship. Sometimes things don't go as you expect. Things can turn sort of cold. And you never know. So the thing that is we write about both because they're part of the human existence.
What would you hope that people take away from each album that is going to come out in the future, lighthearted or serious? What would you hope?
Well, I'd like for both. I mean, it seems like one of the things that we want to do is we want to talk about the more serious topics.
Right.
Another topic we have in our next album is income inequality in the U.S. I mean, there's a great gap in incomes. We feel as if we can close this gap, that we can start to see a change in terms of, like we were just talking about minimum wage.
Yes.
I mean, if we got to a point where minimum wage is closer to $22 an hour, I mean, we might see the gap closing. So we like to, talk about these topics. But on the other hand, we're a band, so we like to play rock and roll. We like to make people happy and have fun. So when it comes to topics like boys and girls and fun and relationships, we can write about that too.
That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, tell me exactly why you make music and who you make it for primarily.
Well, you know, I've been making music and writing songs ever since I've been a very young kid, basically.
How old?
My first song?
Yes.
My first song I wrote, I was 16.
Oh.
Yeah. In fact, I played it for my 22-year-old daughter just the other day.
How was that experience?
It was awesome. I just said to her name is Lauren. I said, okay, Lauren, this is my first song I ever wrote. Here it is. And she was listening to it and she started to cry. I was like, she said, you really wrote that, Dad? I said, yeah, I wrote that. So I've been writing songs all along. So I think that's just, I'm one of those songwriters that when I sit down and start to play, what happens is a song comes out. I just got a call from one of our producers up in Wisconsin, actually. He works with some Nashville producers. And he said, hey, we got some players coming in town. Can you write us a song? I sat down within about an hour. I had a song sort of written. I sent it out.
That's amazing.
But that's how it goes. You know, if you're a songwriter, you just have to come up with topics. And the way I write songs is I write music, and then I say, well, what is this music telling me? You know, what is the message it's saying?
Is it how it makes you feel?
How it makes me feel, or what's the message? You know, like what is it? What is it that it's saying? And then we came up with the song that I wrote is called "The Perfect One," which is about the perfect interviewer, or about the perfect woman, actually.
Okay.
And so that was the name of the song, "The Perfect One." And so we're going to record that in about 3 weeks. It just came spur of the moment. I don't know where it's going to end up, but we're going to record it.
Okay, that's wonderful. So tell us about what you've been doing here at South by Southwest.
Well, we've been playing shows. We've played 3 shows so far, and we have 2 more tomorrow, which is Saturday, and then we head back to Minneapolis Sunday, and we leave at 11 o'clock, get back at 2 p.m. So
Right.
we're not too bad of a flight back, straight flight back. Yeah.
Will you miss us?
Well, I love Austin. I love coming down here, and you know what I really like is I like coming down here and when it's really cold in Minnesota, and here in Austin where it's 70 degrees and it's nighttime and we're out and everybody's having fun. So it's great to be here.
So what's next for you guys is basically touring?
Well, we've been touring a lot, actually. We just got back from California. We did a West Coast swing. We've done some East Coast swings too, like in New York City, and we're.
What is a swing?
Well, we'll do like 4 or 5 cities.
I was like, swing.
Swing. Well, we go swing dancing. No, it's where we go out and we'll do 3 or 4 cities and maybe come back. You know, one of the things that I need to do is to have a schedule that gets me back to Minneapolis. I can't be out on the road for 6 months at a time, but we go out so for 3 or 4 days, maybe a week, and then we come back.
Okay, so if people were to look online to see what you're doing and everything and get updates periodically, what should they do? Should they join your mailing list, or is it just, more of a visiting thing? Tell us what to do.
Our website is warpoets.net, and facebook.com/warpoets, and Twitter at the Warpoets, actually. There's not the actually, but I mean, it's just the Warpoets. And then from there, they can find all the ways to get in touch with us or email or whatever.
Wonderful. So is there anything else that you have to say?
Hey, Austin, it's a great time here at South by Southwest. Look forward to coming back next year.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Lindsay.
This is a wonderful interview. Thank you. This has been Lindsay Gunter, LG signing off here on 6th Street, South by Southwest. See you soon.
Alone is the ending of the story. Nowhere else to be. I daydream. Waves crash on a rocky shore. See the sunrise, see the sunset, all that's in between.